So I'm out at Algonquin Park. This is access point 2. It's the Tim River, and this is going to be a canoe trip that I'm going to follow the Tim River through Tim Lake, over Roseberry Lake, and to Longbow Lake. And then it's not a loop, so I'll backtrack along the Tim and head out the same way I came. So I just got here, I gotta load up the canoe, and then I'm gonna head out. It was the last week of July, and I was continuing with my plans to get back into Algonquin Park through the 4 access points on the west side of the park. A month ago, I did a solo trip through the northwest part of the park, heading in from access point 1. This trip was through access point 2, and in upcoming trips I was planning to go in through access points 3 and 4. I was paddling in on the Tim River, an area that I've visited several times in the past. It's easy to get into the park through here, and I often recommend Tim River and Tim Lake for anyone looking for a mini adventure. The short paddle from the parking lot along the Tim River is only a little more than 2 kilometers and takes roughly half an hour to reach Tim Lake. The short paddle from the parking lot along the Tim River is only a little more than 2 kilometers and takes roughly half an hour to reach Tim Lake. The Tim River is known for being a windy, shallow river, and passage beyond Tim Lake can be problematic if the water levels are low. But the section from the parking lot to Tim Lake is usually easy to travel on. Wind conditions, however, can be a bit of a challenge along this stretch of the Tim River, as the wind funnels off of Tim Lake into the short stretch of the river. So there's a family of loons just up ahead, and I'm gonna use the zoom lens and see if I can get a decent shot of them or not. Problem is the wind's coming pretty strong from behind. Canoe's moving around. I've got some vegetation that I stopped up against, and I'm gonna hope that it's enough to just stabilize me a little bit while I try to get a shot. I'm only half an hour into the trip, so you know, I'm sure I'll see more loons, but still, opportunities here, might as well see what I can do with it. Not the best shots, but I'm sure I'll have plenty more opportunities as this trip continues. Okay, well, we'll see how that footage turns out. Nice to see that wildlife is showing itself already so quickly, but I'm just at the headwaters of Tim Lake now, so I'm gonna keep paddling and see what campsites are available. Okay, so I'm just pulled up to the shore of the first campsite that I've come across. It's a nice campsite. It's the first one that you come to on the island that's in Tim Lake. I've stayed here before. It was several years ago. Stayed out here with my youngest daughter, and but if I can show you. And let me just see if I can get another view. So yeah, not a bad site. It's one of my favorites. There's I've stayed on 3 sites on Tim Lake before, no, 4, and one I don't care for, so I'll keep going. This isn't my favorite site. Got great memories, but not my favorite site. I'm gonna paddle around the island. There's 2 more on the island. One I've never stayed at, so I'm gonna paddle around and see if that's empty and at least have a look, and then I'll paddle over and have a look at the other campsite on the opposite side of the island, which is a favorite, and yeah, if that's available I'll probably stay there. So keep going. I made my way around to the other side of the island to check out the other campsite. It was low-lying and open. It looked like it could be a half-decent place for the night, but I wanted to keep going. Okay, well, I paddled around the lake and saw what's available. The site that's probably my favorite is taken, but I've camped at this one as well before with my oldest daughter, and from what I can remember, it was a half-decent site. It's facing into the wind and it's slightly elevated. It's also right at the start of the other side of the Tim River, or other side of the Tim Lake where the Tim River continues. So by camping here, if it's decent in there, I'll cut probably 20 minutes of paddling tomorrow morning. So I'm gonna get out of the boat, check it out, and then have some lunch, I think. Yeah, pretty much how I remember it. So yeah, it's a nice site. The main camping area, the tent pad area, is further back from the fire pit, but I'm in a hammock, and I might be able to get the hammock strung up between these two trees. So again, it would be that tree and that tree with the hammock, and the fire pit's there. So close proximity to the fire, I always like that, you know, keep everything close, and you know, your cooking area and sitting area and all that. Yeah, wind is really picking up. It's got a nice breeze right here, and so I like it more and more. The breeze is going to keep the mosquitoes away, so yeah, it's good. So I'm going to unload the canoe, have my lunch, and get the hammock set up, and then hopefully the wind dies down and I'll try to do some fishing later on. It's been a couple years since I switched to a hammock. My neck was really not enjoying sleeping on the ground as I was getting older, so I thought I'd give it a try. This one is a Four Season hammock by Hennessy. It has a built-in underquilt that helps keep me warm through the night. I'm actually really happy that I made the switch, and unless I was out camping with someone who I might want to share a tent with, I was definitely going to stick with the hammock. Well, I had my lunch and had a drink, got the water filter going, and got camp set up. Yeah, I'll show you around. Let's have a look. So, I did hang the hammock between those two trees. They were a little bit close. You can tell by how the fly is kind of drooping in the middle, but yeah, it's not bad. There's tension in the fly everywhere else, and the actual hammock is much smaller than the fly, so the hammock spread should be fine for just comfort. The water bag, like I said, hung up, and it's actually already filtered through, so I've got down on the ground there, the blue bag is the clean bag, the gray bag is the dirty bag. So sounds kind of funny. Yeah, don't drink the gray one, drink the blue one. So, and the water's already filtered through to the blue, so I'm good to go. Gathered up some firewood. I'll probably gather up some more. Mostly I've just got some kindling right now, so kindling. There is a bunch of firewood back here, needs to be cut still, right? So I'll cut up some of that and see if I can find another piece. Did walk around, it's quite nice. It's nice to be back somewhere where you haven't been in a long time. And like I said, I've camped at this site with my oldest daughter, and you know, I wonder if she remembers the spot. But yeah, you know, I remember seeing some of these places within the campsite itself and thinking that it's nice looking. To be back and to see them again, it's nice. So like I can show you up on the hill over here, we have a nice rocky outcrop. I'll go up and we can have a better look at it just so you can see. Right. Then down that way, there's another, it's like a little bay within Tim Lake, and it's sheltered. Not much wind is blowing in there. It's got a little bit of a point. If these two areas, these two ends, weren't so close, I'd say over there would be a great spot for another campsite. You know, I'm glad that it isn't, because it gives me all this space to myself, nice and quiet. You know, to put some perspective in it, there's no other campsite except for on the islands, and then the Tim River is just over there on my, maybe my south now. And then on the next shore, around the bend, that's where the next campsite is, so quite a bit of privacy. Haven't seen any signs of big black hairy animals, which I'm glad. So anyway, so now this is the other peninsula down here, and I'll take you down and we'll have a look at the view from down there. Look at that tree. Oh, a nail there, so someone put that in. Someone has camped down here, decided to put a nail on. But yeah, woodpecker, eh? Woodpecker's gone after that tree. On the ground, all the bark. Anyway, sidetracked. So yeah, this little bay and peninsula, so it's quite nice. I'm assuming it probably was a campsite at one point and they moved it. Who knows why, and it doesn't really matter, but it's a nice little spot. So yeah, as you can see, just nice and quiet. Water on two sides. And yeah, I do like my campsite, but it's nice to have this here. I like campsite areas that are a bit more open, you know, when it's really dense vegetation. It's always more buggy, I find, more mosquitoes, and, you know, your eyes can't see. And so, you know, it's, truthfully, it makes me worry of what I can't see back there, but I want to be able to see further as well. You know, I come out here to enjoy the landscape, you know, the vast horizons of the lake, and even in the forest to see through and the details in it. So this is what I like. A lot of layers, a lot of texture. It's nice. So it's back here that I have my rope set up, pulley system for the food hang. And I doubt you'll be able to see it, but I've got the pulley is hanging up there, right up there. And plenty of distance from camp. So camp is way, we got that bush here, those trees, and then over it, and then further. So yeah, quite a ways from camp. Anyway, so that's camp. Now, I'm gonna tell you, the little concern I have is that it feels very humid, and it's that hot humid as well. Paddling in, I had the breeze and it wasn't that bad, but it's been getting more hazy. Now we've got there's fires up in the northwest of Ontario, and there is a air quality advisory at the moment because the particulate is blowing down here. And during my drive, 4-hour drive this morning, you could see the you know, smoggy kind of red haze everywhere. So that's going on, and maybe that's what's going on around me, but it also feels like rain. Feels like good rain. So as it is, I'm not going to hang the larger tarp over my hammock, but I think that I'll have it right on top of everything in my dry bag tonight. And that way, if I wake up and it's storming, or even first thing in the morning, I can, well, if it's first thing in the morning, I'll be packing up, but if it's raining overnight, I can pull that out and sort myself out. So it's very quiet here as well. That's one thing. And loons. There's loons here. Lots of loons, apparently. It's very loony. Well, I'm changing up my pasta recipe. Pretty drastic change. I'm going from cherry tomatoes to Roma. So I don't have a cutting board. I want to cut these up, but I'm gonna try to just mangle them in the case that I pack them in. It's funny because I took the lid off and they're already expanding up higher. So, but they did pretty good, you know. So I did this, I've done this several times, super easy. There's the brand Knorr and seasoning packs. They do a few with pasta that you just basically add the seasoning. They call for in the ingredients to add a little bit of olive oil. Out here I don't pack in a tablespoon or whatever it is of olive oil. I figure a tablespoon of olive oil, you're not even going to notice it. So I usually mix in cherry tomatoes, but I thought I would try larger tomatoes this time and see if it's any better, different. It's probably going to be exactly the same, but anyway, it's what was on the kitchen counter, and it's what's for dinner. Yeah, it's good. There were only a few hours left in the day, enough time to get a campfire going, and the wood I collected made it a simple task. It's one of the best parts of a camping trip, to sit by a fire as the sun goes down, listen to the sounds that surround me. That night was a quiet one, as the lake calmed and the sky slowly turned to a soft red, and a loon swam out in the distance. I was back in Algonquin Park for another solo canoe trip, and it was just beginning.